Hi, my name is Pearl, and today we are going to talk about guaranteed way to recover your money from the builders through police case. We have prepared this video after a serious discussion with the former High Court judge. And in this video, I am going to explain to you a 100% guaranteed way to recover your money from the builders. Yes, 100% guaranteed strategy. What I am going to tell you are the points that nobody would have told you so far. Hence, please listen to this video very attentively. The usual grievance of an aggravated home buyer is like this: that he had seen an advertisement of a builder announcing booking of flats. This advertisement, apart from project details, also contained names of reputed real estate agents and of the banks and housing finance companies who had offered to finance the flats in this project. After thus getting allured and after deceitful inducement by the marketing agent, the investor had paid money to the builder for construction of a flat for him, but even after a delay of few years, he has neither been given the flat nor has his money been repaid. You have lost your money with the dishonest builder. In our opinion, you should now have three main objectives. First, that you must get your money back with compound interest. Second, the dishonest directors of the builder company and the other beneficiaries of the misappropriated money should get life term in jail. And third, the known unknown and the Benami assets created with the money embezzled out of the investor's funds should be traced and confiscated. The strategy suggested in this video will certainly achieve all the three objectives. The underlying theme of our strategy is to lodge a large number of cases against the builder directors and their co-conspirators at all those different cities and towns wherever the investors reside, and the accused persons would be made to realize that either they repay your money or they and the conniving beneficiaries would get arrested, then who would never get bail and would have to spend the rest of their life in jail, and that all their known, unknown and Benami assets would be traced and attached. To achieve our objectives, at least 6 cases should be instituted. Firstly, 3 criminal cases should be made out of a police case, a criminal complaint case under section 200 of the CRPC, and a case of money laundering with Enforcement Directorate. And secondly, 3 consumer cases should be instituted, one against the builder company and its directors, auditors and other top managers, second against the marketing company, its directors and its sales agents, and the third against the banks and other financial institutions that had either offered to finance the purchase of the flats or indeed had provided the finance. First of all, in this video, I shall explain as to how police case should be made out. Please listen very carefully, because other 5 cases will also be required to be lodged on almost similar grounds. The important points here are 3. First is the drafting of your complaint. Your complaint lays the foundation of your case, so the same should be drafted carefully and professionally. The allegations made in the complaint should be specific and must be backed by legally admissible evidence. Secondly, whether you get your refund or not depends upon who you're complaining against. Who are the main accused in your complaint is the most important point. Thirdly, you must get your complaint registered as a separate FIR at your local police station in the area where you reside, not with the EOW of police. You must, I respectfully repeat, that you must also write in your complaint that you had entrusted your money to the builder for construction of flat for you. But the directors of the builder company, in connivance with their own top managers, auditors, different banks, other housing finance companies, and the directors and their sales agents of the marketing company, instead of constructing the flats for you, diverted and siphoned off your money for their personal use. And you have not been given the possession of the flat so far, though they were supposed to have given the possession long back. That the above allegations constitute offences under section 409, 420 and 120B of IPC, and that your complaint should be registered as an FIR. You should also state in your complaint that the police should arrange forensic audit of the accounts of the builder and that properties of all the directors or other accused persons of other willful beneficiaries created out of the embezzled money must also be attached. You should send your complaint by speed post to the local police station having jurisdiction over the area where you reside, and get your complaint registered as an FIR at this local police station. You must ensure that your individual complaint to the police is registered as a separate FIR. But if the police has not registered your complaint as a separate FIR, you should ask your lawyer to get an order from the court under the section 156 subsection 3 of the CRPC. In such a scenario, on the direction of the court, police will have to register your individual complaint as a separate FIR. It has been observed that the aggravated investors usually rush to the crime branch or to the economic offences wing of the police for getting their complaints registered as FIR. Though in many cases, EOW of local police is much better than even CBI or the Enforcement Directorate, yet in the builder fraud cases where hundreds and thousands of investors are complaints, it is preferable to have individual FIRs registered at almost all different police stations in the areas wherever the investors reside. I shall explain the significance of such a strategy. Please keep listening carefully. When a builder defaults naturally, large number of investors feel aggravated, and many of such investors make a complaint to the economic offences wing of the police. In this type of matters, EOW usually registers complaint of one of the investors as FIR and cites all other complaints as witnesses in the charge sheets. Though the EOW by such action are able to reduce their own workload, yet in the process investors' interests are sacrificed. Suppose 100 investors have complained against a builder. Then in the normal course the EOW will register the complaint of any one of such investor as an FIR and will add the other 99 complaints in the charge sheets of the said FIR as witnesses. Such an action of the police is extremely beneficial to the builder, but it is very harmful to the investors. Let us see how. Because EOW has registered only one FIR, there is only one case. Hence, the accused persons have to take bail in only one case, which they are able to get somehow. And thereafter the accused persons will have to contest only one case, and that also in only one court. In such a trial where there are 100 main witnesses, this will take maybe 30 years or more to be decided. By the time about 50% of the investors and 50% of the accused would have died, and if the remaining accused are convicted and sentenced, they would get maximum sentence of imprisonment for 7 years only, and about 1 or 2 years imprisonment in default payment of fine. Then, after spending a few months in jail, they would get again a bail from the appellate court and would enjoy life with the investor's money. On the other hand, if 100 separate FIRs have been registered at different police stations on 100 individual complaints, there would have been 100 charge sheets and 100 cases would have been tried in about 30 to 40 courts according to the jurisdiction of different courts. In such a situation, the accused persons would be required to get and furnish bail in all the 100 cases from 30 to 40 different courts. However, please note that some judges are of such nature that they would never grant bail to such accused persons, giving reasons that in such a serious crime, grant of bail would result in gross injustice to the large number of poor investors who had lost their hard-earned money at the hands of the accused persons. It will be extremely difficult for the accused persons to get the bail in 100 cases and come out of jail. If out of 100 cases, the accused persons are somehow able to get the bail in 99 cases but fail to get the bail even in one case, please note that the jail authorities are not going to release them. They will continue to languish in jail. However, if at any stage of the accused person is able to get a bail for himself from the magistrate or sessions court, you must immediately apply to the High Court for stay and cancellation of that bail order. I very respectfully repeat that you must immediately apply to the High Court for stay and cancellation of the said bail order. I am confident that the said bail orders would certainly be cancelled. Honorable Supreme Court does not allow bail to builders in cases where large number of investors have been cheated. Such a case is not that of simple cheating. It is in true sense a case of economic genocide. If forensic audit of the accounts of the builder company was not got done by the police and the properties created by the accused persons out of the embezzled amount had not been traced and attached by the police, then you should get such a forensic audit done and the embezzled properties traced and attached through court orders. You must also ensure that the willful beneficiaries of such misappropriated properties should also be arrested and made accused as conspirators. Nevertheless, when 100 cases are being tried in 30 or 40 different courts, and in every case there is only one main witness, so trial would normally be concluded in all the 100 cases in a few years only. Now I once again request you to please listen very carefully, because nobody would tell you what important points I am going to explain now. Though for the offense of cheating there can be a substantive sentence of maximum imprisonment of 7 years, let us assume that in all the 100 cases, if the substantive sentence of imprisonment for just 3 years each is awarded, and let us assume that the sentences awarded under different charges in the trial are ordered to run concurrently. In such a scenario, because of benefit of set-off, it will be treated that the sentence of 3 years imprisonment stood served in all cases. Yet, here comes the most important point. Kindly listen very carefully. Though substantive sentence of 3 years imprisonment stood served in all the cases, yet in each one of 100 cases, substantial amounts of compensation or fine would also be rewarded as sentence. And in default, the accused persons would be awarded sentence of imprisonment too. Let us assume that all the charges in every sense the sentence of imprisonment in default of payment of compensation or fine is just 1 year each. Kindly note that in 100 such cases the accused persons would have to serve additional 100 years of imprisonment on account of default in payment of fine. Please note that as per law, benefit of set-off is not available on the sentence of imprisonment in the default of payment of fine. And also please note that the sentences in default of payment of fine on different charges and different cases run consecutively, that is, one after the other. Latest judgment of Honorable Supreme Court has also clearly reiterated this law about consecutive running of sentences awarded in default of payment of fine in a case. And also please note that in the matter of imprisonment in default of payment of fine, usually no remission is given by the jail authorities. Hence, the convicted persons would have to serve at least 100 years in jail and would naturally die in jail. However, if the FIR was registered on the complaint of some other person and your complaint was attached to the said FIR and you have been cited as a witness in the charge sheet, then forget about the recovery of your money. In such a situation, chances of recovery of your money are very, very remote, almost nil. Yes, almost nil. Therefore, first and foremost point of paramount importance is that your individual complaint must be registered as a separate FIR. In Lalu Yadav case and in many other cases, Honorable Supreme Court has held that every instance of misappropriation is a separate case. Honorable Delhi High Court has also held in a recent division bench judgment that for every complaint of cheating or of embezzlement, separate FIR should be lodged. I, with utmost humility, repeat that Honorable Delhi High Court has also held in a recent division bench judgment that for every complaint of cheating or of embezzlement, separate FIR should be lodged. If you require copies of any of these judgments, please send us an email and we shall send you the same for free. Every company has many directors, and in your complaint you have to make specific allegations against the directors regarding their specific role in the crime committed against you. Please remember that just because somebody is a director in a company is not sufficient to arraign him as accused. The auditors and various top managers of the builder company, like vice presidents, general managers of finance and marketing, etc., who not only knowingly allowed the directors to embezzle the public funds for their personal use, but also made no efforts to protect the interests of the investors, and they are equally guilty. Law recognizes that such conniving or thoroughly careless managers of the company deserve equal punishment. The marketing companies, their directors and their sales agents are also the main conspirators along with the dishonest builders of the builder company. It is they who deceitfully had induced the investors to invest in the bogus project of the builder. Out of the money paid by the investors to the builder, these agents had taken huge cuts as their share of the booty, camouflaging the same as the commission. These marketing companies and their directors and sales agents must be made accused in your complaint. And because they have plenty of ready cash with them, to avoid going to jail, they will have no other way out but to repay your amount with interest. Then the banks, etc., who, without doing due diligence and without proper pre-sanction appraisal, offered to lend money to enable the investors to buy flats in the bogus projects of the builders and are indeed the main abettors and the conspirators. Had the banks not offered loan for this project, I'm sure you might have not booked a flat in this project. The conniving bankers had transferred the loan amount directly to the account of the builder in gross violation of prudent banking norms and had miserably failed to ensure proper end use of the funds thus lent. Moreover, these banks made no efforts to protect the interest of the investors. Such banks must be made accused as main abettors and as conspirators in your complaint. Such banks, after the trial, would be certainly held guilty and naturally would be directed by the courts to pay compensation to the investors of an amount at least equal to the amount lost by the investors with interest thereon. And the banks would have to repay your money with interest from the date you paid to the builder till the date of actual repayment by the bank. I very respectfully state that the directors, managers, auditors of the builder company and other beneficiaries of the embezzled funds will not repay your money, but all their known and unknown Benami assets will be attached and they would be spending rest of their life in jail. However, we are 100% sure that it is the marketing companies, their directors, their sales agents and the banks who are cash rich and who, to avoid long jail terms, shall certainly repay your amount with interest without much hassle. Hence, in your complaint, you must clearly emphasize that the marketing companies, their directors and their sales agents who knowingly marketed the bogus projects and the banks and housing finance companies that had knowingly offered to finance flats in this proposed fraud project were the conspirators with the builder directors. Now, I give you a short summary of the strategy outlined in this long video. In a nutshell, you should remember at least 3 main points from this video. Firstly, not only in your police complaint, but also in all your other complaints and cases before different authorities, you must, I respectfully repeat, you must make the marketing companies, their directors, their sales agents and the banks and other housing finance companies also as the accused, apart from the directors, auditors and other top managers of the builder company. Your major focus should be to recover your money from the marketing companies, their directors, their sales agents and from banks and housing finance companies. The central theme of this video can be stated in one sentence, that your focus should be to recover your money from the marketing companies, their directors, their sales agents, from the banks and the housing finance companies. I once again repeat that the central theme of this video is that your focus should be to recover your money from the marketing companies, their directors, their sales agents, and from the banks and the housing finance companies. Secondly, you must ensure that not only yours but different complaints of all other investors must also be registered as separate FIRs. And instead of the crime branch or the economic offences wing, you should get your FIR registered at your local police station in whichever part of India you reside. And thirdly, if any of the accused person is able to obtain bail from lower courts, you must get the same cancelled from Supreme Court. You must put in your best efforts to ensure that the accused person should not be able to come out of the jail without first repaying your money. You have to remain in constant touch with the investigating officer of the police, and you have to regularly guide him and assist him in proper investigation of your complaint. You should also go with him from place to place to trace the misappropriated properties and to get the accused persons traced and arrested. You should also collect details including balance sheets, names and addresses of directors and of different companies belonging to the builder. With assistance of investigating officer of the police, you should get attached properties of all such group companies of the builder, including personal properties of all the accused persons. You must ensure that conniving directors of such group companies and other willful beneficiaries would be also arrested. You must oppose tooth and nail the bail application of the accused persons in all courts up to Supreme Court if required. We are 100% certain that the moment the directors of the marketing company are arrested and their properties are attached, they will immediately repay your money. Lastly, I would like to remind you that our judicial system is excellent, but is very slow and extremely costly. Therefore, you should have patience and must do obsessive follow-up. Making a complaint to the police, or for that matter making a complaint anywhere and forgetting about the same, is not going to get your money back. Remember, follow-up and obsessive follow-up is the mantra for success for recovery of your money with interest. If you're busy and cannot do this much running around yourself, then you must appoint some well-educated, sincere and bold agent having good public relations skills and good knowledge of police, court and jail procedures to do this obsessive follow-up on your behalf. I also want to invite your special attention to the fact that whatever is stated by me so far is 100% legally correct, but is only general information for the knowledge of the investors and is neither a legal advice nor is intended to be a legal advice. I very respectfully would like to remind you that the courts are impressed by arguments, not by slogan shouting crowds. If you are a member of some investor forum, you may continue to remain member of that forum, but if the investors seriously want refund of their money, then each investor should have his own separate case, separate FIR and separate lawyer. I strongly recommend that you must engage a good and competent lawyer for yourself, who will pursue your case exclusively. The builder directors and other conspirators like marketing companies and the banks, etc. are cash rich. And to save themselves from long prison terms, to save their huge properties from confiscation, they will move many applications in High Court for anticipatory bail, regular bail, revision and quashing, and etc. and would engage top-shot lawyers. Therefore, your lawyer should be also of good standing. Please also remember that good lawyers don't come cheap and that you will need to spend substantial amounts of legal expenses. Legal fight cannot be won without plenty of money. Over and above what I have stated so far, the most important point is that you also need to have the fighting spirit. It is a matter of great shame that the dishonest builders, marketing agents, their sales agents are enjoying 5-star lifestyle with your money, and the poor investors, after payment of monthly installments of bogus bank loans, are struggling hard to pay school fees of their children. You must do your level best to recover your money with the attitude of whatever it takes. Legally, of course. We are a non-profit organization and arrange free legal assistance to the poor people. A few former High Court judges and some highly experienced advocates are on our panel, who all work pro bono for weaker sections of the society. If you are a victim of builder fraud and you want our assistance for recovering your money from such builders, please send us a WhatsApp message at the phone number 9810396571, or you can also send an email at investorslegalhelpline@gmail.com. We shall shortly be publishing similar informative videos on guaranteed ways to recover your money from builders. All these videos would contain wealth of information and will be very helpful to you for recovery of your money from the builders. You must watch all such free videos and share these videos with other victims. Press the subscribe and bell icon so that you should immediately get the notification for our new videos. Thank you very much. Vande Mataram.